I held my 6-month-old daughter for the first time yesterday. The DNA test came back this morning. She's my niece. Her name is Emma. She has my brother's eyes, dark brown, almost black in certain light. I didn't see it before, or maybe I didn't want to, but yesterday, when I finally let myself look at her, really look at her, I saw Michael staring back at me, my younger brother, the one I raised, the one I saved, the one who's been sleeping with my wife for the last 2 years. The envelope sits on my desk, white paper, official letterhead from Gene DX Laboratory. I've read it 50 times, but my hands still shake when I touch it. The paper is smooth, cold, clinical. Probability of paternity, 0.0%. That's me, 0. Probability of sibling relationship with submitted sample, 99.98%. That's Michael. When your own blood betrays you, what does family even mean? But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me tell you how I got here. 15 months ago, my wife came home with a smile I hadn't seen in years. Daniel, Jennifer said, setting her purse on the kitchen counter with that particular lightness that meant she wanted something. Sarah's planning a girls' trip, Miami, 5 days, all inclusive. I was loading the dishwasher. Tuesday night. Lucas had just finished his junior year of high school, his acceptance letters still months away, but already he was mapping out campus visits. Jennifer moved around the kitchen like she always did, efficient, controlled, the kind of woman who color-coded her closet and never left dishes in the sink overnight. Miami sounds nice, I said. When? Next month, July. She pulled out the printed itinerary, set it on the counter between us. I remember she'd circled the resort name in pen, twice. The Fontainebleau, 5 stars, beachfront. Sarah found this amazing deal. Her sister's friend works in hospitality, got us a rate that's basically theft. Lucas looked up from his phone at the table. Mom's going to Miami? Can I come? She laughed, walked over and kissed the top of his head. He was 17, almost as tall as me already, but he still let her do that, still believed in us. This one's just for the girls, sweetie, but your dad can take you fishing that weekend, father-son time. I watched her across the kitchen. She wore yoga pants and one of my old college sweatshirts, her hair pulled back in a ponytail. We'd been married 18 years, together for 20. I knew the rhythm of her movements, the cadence of her voice. I knew when she was excited about a new client at her real estate firm, when she was stressed about her mother's health, when she needed space. But that night, something felt different, her perfume. I noticed it when she leaned past me to grab a wine glass. Not her usual scent, something expensive, heavier. Sounds great, I said. You should go. You've been working hard. She kissed me then, quick, efficient. You're the best husband. If you've ever had that gut feeling, the one that tells you something's wrong even when everything looks perfect, you know what I'm talking about. It sits in your chest like a stone. You can't explain it. You just know. I didn't say anything, not then. She left 3 weeks later. I drove her to the airport. Lucas came along, made her promise to bring back key lime chocolates. She kissed us both goodbye at the departures curb, her suitcase bright red against the concrete. I remember thinking her perfume smelled different, expensive. 5 days without her felt normal at first. Lucas and I ate pizza for dinner, watched baseball, stayed up too late. I worked on a project proposal for a commercial development downtown. She texted occasionally photos of the beach, a mojito with an umbrella, Sarah making a silly face by the pool. Looking back now, there were so few photos. And Sarah wasn't in most of them. She came back on a Sunday. Lucas and I picked her up. She was tan, relaxed, smiling in that loose way that comes from vacation. We stopped for lunch on the way home. She told us about the resort, the restaurants, a dolphin encounter she'd done with Sarah. Everything sounded right. Everything looked right. 6 weeks later, she sat me down on our bed and said, I need to tell you something. I was folding laundry Sunday afternoon. Lucas was at a friend's house. She'd been quiet all weekend, distracted. I thought maybe it was work stress, a difficult client, her mother again. "I'm pregnant," she said. The shirt in my hands was one of Lucas's, a University of Oregon hoodie he'd gotten on a campus tour. I set it down carefully, like if I moved too fast, something would break. "What?" "I'm pregnant." Her hands were shaking. She was holding 3 pregnancy tests, lined up on the bathroom counter behind her like evidence. Pink lines, all positive. "I know we said we were done. I know Lucas is almost grown, but Daniel, it's a miracle." A miracle. I had a vasectomy 3 years ago. We'd talked about it for years. After Lucas was born, we decided one was enough. Good schools are expensive. College is expensive. We wanted to give him everything. Jennifer had issues with hormonal birth control, and I'd said I'd look into a vasectomy. We'd agreed to wait, to be sure. Except I didn't wait. I scheduled it. I went through with it. I never told her. It was supposed to be simple. Reversible if we changed our minds, though I knew we wouldn't. Lucas was perfect. Our family was complete. I saw no reason to tell her about the procedure after the fact. Why worry her about something already done? So when she stood there holding those pregnancy tests, telling me about a miracle, I knew exactly what kind of miracle it was. The baby wasn't mine. "Wow," I said. My voice sounded far away, like someone else was speaking. That's amazing." She started crying, happy tears. "I know it's unexpected. I know we didn't plan this, but maybe it's meant to be. Maybe this is the universe telling us something." I held her. She felt warm, real, familiar. My wife, the mother of my son, the woman I'd built a life with. And in that moment, holding her while she cried happy tears over a baby that wasn't mine, I made a decision. I wouldn't explode, not yet. I would find out who, I would find out how long. I would gather every piece of evidence until there was no room for lies, no space for excuses, and then I would burn it all down. She pulled back, wiped her eyes, smiled at me. "You're not mad?" "Mad? Jennifer, I paused, chose my words carefully. "I'm shocked, but if this is what's happening, then we'll make it work. We always do." She kissed me, soft, grateful. "I love you." "I love you too." She said it was a miracle. I knew miracles didn't exist. The pregnancy moved forward like clockwork. Jennifer glowed. Lucas was excited about being a big brother, started researching the best ways to teach babies to throw a baseball. My parents were thrilled. Their first grandchild in 17 years. Everyone celebrated. I played my part, went to ultrasound appointments, helped paint the nursery, bought tiny clothes that made Jennifer cry. And every night, after she fell asleep, I sat in my home office and worked. I started with her phone, synced to our family cloud. She didn't know I had access. Most people don't realize how much their phone tells you if you know where to look. Deleted texts aren't really deleted. Calendar entries leave shadows. Photo metadata shows you where someone was and when. Miami, July 10th to 14. I pulled up her location history, the Fontainebleau resort, just like she'd said. But there were hours missing, hours where her location services were off. And on July 12th, her phone pinged at a different hotel entirely. The Mandarin Oriental, 2 miles away. I checked our credit cards. Nothing unusual on our account, but that made sense. If you're hiding something, you don't leave a paper trail on the family visa. I hired a private investigator, called him from my office downtown, used a burner phone number. His name was Ray Hutchins, former cop, discreet, expensive. "I need you to look into my wife," I told him. "I need to know if she's having an affair, and I need to know with who." "You got a suspicion?" he asked. "Someone specific?" I almost said Michael's name right there, my brother. The gut feeling was screaming it, but I stopped myself. "Just find out," I said. "I'll know when I see the evidence." Jennifer was 5 months pregnant when Ray called me back. "Mr. Carter," he said, "I've got something. You're going to want to sit down." I was in my car, parked in the garage downtown after a client meeting. Rain drummed on the roof. October. The trees were turning. Go ahead. Your wife's been meeting someone regularly. Different locations, coffee shops, restaurants. One trip to a property out by Cascade Lake. Who? There was a pause on the line. Ray had been doing this for 20 years. He knew how to deliver bad news. Your brother, Mr. Carter, Michael Carter, I've got photos, timestamps. They've been meeting for at least 18 months, maybe longer. The rain got louder, or maybe it was the blood in my ears. Send me everything, I said. Mr. Carter, everything, Ray. Every photo, every receipt, every goddamn timestamp. Yes, sir. I sat in that car for an hour, watched the rain, thought about Michael, my little brother, 6 years younger. I was 14 when our parents brought him home from the hospital. I changed his diapers, taught him to ride a bike, walked him to school when he was scared of the bigger kids. I put him through college. Our parents didn't have the money, not after Dad's medical bills from his first heart attack, so I paid $47,000 over 4 years. Told Michael it was a gift, told him to pay it forward someday. When Michael got divorced 8 years ago, he was broke, lost his job, lost his house, spiraling. I gave him $85,000 for a down payment on a new place. Told him he could pay me back when he got on his feet. He never did. 5 years ago, I got him a job. My company had just landed a major contract, needed project managers. Michael's degree was in business administration, but he'd been working retail. I vouched for him, put my reputation on the line. He got hired, good salary, benefits, stability. You're the best brother anyone could ask for, he wrote in my birthday card that year. I had the card in my desk drawer. I'd kept them all, every birthday card, every Christmas card. Little notes Michael had written over the years. Thanks for believing in me. I wouldn't be here without you. We don't abandon family. That last one was something I used to say to him when he was struggling, when he wanted to give up. I'd put my hand on his shoulder and say, we don't abandon family, Mike. Never, no matter what. He'd believe me. I'd believed it too. At Michael's wedding 10 years ago, he gave a speech, talked about how I'd raised him really, how I was more than a brother. I was his hero. Everyone cried. Kate, his bride, hugged me afterward and said, he's lucky to have you. And now he'd been fucking my wife for 18 months. Michael's wife, Kate, texted me that night, just after midnight. I was in bed next to Jennifer, her pregnant belly pressed against my back. My phone lit up. We need to talk. Don't tell Michael. We met 3 days later, a coffee shop in Beaverton, 40 minutes from our neighborhood. Neutral territory. Kate was already there when I arrived, sitting in the back corner, her hands wrapped around a mug she wasn't drinking from. She looked tired. Kate was 36, a nurse at Providence. Dark blonde hair, usually pulled back for work. She and Michael had 2 kids, Ethan, age 9, and Sophia, age 6. I saw them every few months at family gatherings. Good kids. Ethan looked just like Michael did at that age. Thanks for meeting me, Kate said when I sat down. What's going on? She looked at me for a long moment, deciding something. Then she pulled out her phone. I need you to know I'm not crazy, she said. I'm not paranoid. I'm not imagining things. Kate! Michael's been lying for over a year, maybe longer. She tapped her phone, pulled up a screenshot. I found this on his credit card from July. A hotel in Miami, the Mandarin Oriental, same dates as your wife's girls' trip. She slid the phone across to me. There it was. July 12th, room charge, $347.82. I confronted him, Kate said. He said it was a work trip, last minute. Forgot to tell me, but I checked his work calendar. Nothing. I called his office. They said he took personal days. I stared at the charge. My hands felt cold. There's more, Kate said. She pulled up another screenshot, text messages, Michael's phone. She'd taken photos of it while he was sleeping. He deletes them, but sometimes he forgets. Look at this one, from 3 weeks ago. The message was to Jennifer. Just her first name in his contacts. Nothing suspicious there. We were family. But the content. Can't wait to see you Thursday. Same place? Jennifer's response. Miss you already. I have more, Kate said. Receipts, photos I found in a folder he thought he'd hidden, cash withdrawals from our account, thousands of dollars over the last year that he can't explain. She paused. And then your wife announced she's pregnant. The coffee shop was warm. I felt cold. You think? I don't know what to think, Kate said. But the timing, Daniel, the trips, the lies. I wanted to tell you because if I'm right, you deserve to know. And if I'm wrong, she trailed off. I hope I'm wrong. I should have felt angry. I should have felt betrayed. But sitting there looking at Kate's evidence laid out on a coffee shop table, all I felt was a strange, cold clarity. There's one more thing, Kate said. She reached into her purse, pulled out a small velvet bag, tipped it onto the table. A bracelet fell out. Silver. Delicate, with a small ruby the size of a match head. I found this in Michael's car, Kate said, in the glove box. Still had the receipt. He bought it in Miami. $460. She pushed it toward me. I've seen your wife wearing one just like it. I picked up the bracelet. The silver was cool in my palm. The ruby caught the light. Daniel, Kate said, I'm so sorry. I looked up at her, this woman who married my brother, who gave him children, who was sitting here with evidence of his betrayal, apologizing to me. Don't apologize, I said. You didn't do this. What are you going to do? I closed my hand around the bracelet, the clasp pressed into my palm. I'm going to find out everything, I said. Every lie, every hotel, every moment. And when I have it all, when there's no room for them to deny it, no space for excuses, I'm going to make sure they both understand what they've done. Kate nodded slowly. I'll help you, whatever you need. Why? Because he's been lying to me too, she said. Because I have kids who deserve to know the truth about their father. And because... She stopped, took a breath. We don't abandon family, right? That's what you always told him. You didn't abandon Michael even when everyone else did. The least I can do is not abandon you. My own words, thrown back at me in a Beaverton coffee shop by my brother's wife over evidence of his affair with my pregnant wife. We don't abandon family, Kate. That's what I always told him. She showed me one more thing, a bracelet. Jennifer wore it too. Kate and I became partners in the worst kind of detective work. She had access to Michael's finances. I had access to Jennifer's digital life. Between us, we started building a case that would be undeniable. Not just suspicion, not just circumstantial evidence. The kind of proof that leaves no room for doubt, no space for, it's not what it looks like. No accusations, no confrontation, just evidence. Kate would text me screenshots in the middle of the night. Michael's credit card statements, cash withdrawals from their joint account, $200 here, $300 there. Over 18 months, it added up to more than $12,000. Money that just disappeared. When Kate asked about it, Michael said it was work lunches, client entertainment, stuff he'd get reimbursed for. Except his reimbursement records didn't match. Not even close. I gave Kate access to a secure cloud folder. We used encrypted apps, deleted our messages after reading them. We weren't hiding from the world. We were hiding from Michael and Jennifer, waiting for the right moment, gathering ammunition. Jennifer was 6 months pregnant when I started mapping the affair timeline in earnest. Ray, my investigator, sent me a detailed report. Hotel receipts from 4 different cities over 18 months. Portland, Seattle, San Francisco, and Miami. Sometimes they stayed 1 night, sometimes 3. The pattern was careful, never the same hotel twice, always paying cash when they could, using Michael's secondary credit card when they couldn't. But there was one place they kept going back to, the lake house. My lake house. Well, technically it was Michael's now. I'd given it to him 8 years ago, right after his divorce from Kate. Before Kate, actually. After his first marriage fell apart, Michael had been broke, depressed, sleeping on our parents' couch. The lake house had been a vacation property my company had acquired as part of a development deal that fell through. Small cabin on Cascade Lake, an hour outside the city. 2 bedrooms, dock, privacy. I'd signed it over to Michael, told him he could use it to rebuild his life, get away, clear his head, start fresh. I don't know what to say, he'd said when I handed him the deed. We were in my office downtown. He'd been crying. Daniel, this is too much. It's not too much, I'd told him. You're my brother. We don't abandon family, take the house, use it, be happy. He'd hugged me, held on for a long time. I'll never forget this. Jennifer was 5 months pregnant when I found the lake house photos. Ray had done a deep dive into Michael's phone records, the ones Kate had helped him access, cloud backups, photo streams, everything Michael thought he deleted but hadn't, not really. Delete doesn't mean gone. It just means hidden. There were 47 photos from the lake house, spread over 8 different visits. Jennifer on the deck, smiling at the camera, her hair loose, wearing a sundress I'd never seen. Behind her, the lake glittered in afternoon light. Michael's hand on her shoulder in another photo, a selfie. Both of them grinning. The bedroom window visible behind them. The bedroom I'd helped him paint. We'd spent a weekend there, just the 2 of us. I'd brought the paint. We talked about his future, his plans. I told him the house was his fresh start. There was a photo of the dock, of Jennifer sitting on the edge, her feet in the water, one of their hands intertwined on a blanket, one of a wine bottle, the expensive kind Jennifer loved, but we never bought because it was $60 a bottle, and that seemed excessive for a weeknight. I sat in my home office at 2 a.m, scrolling through these photos while my pregnant wife slept down the hall, and I remembered building that dock. Michael had called me 3 summers ago. Hey, the dock's rotting. I think it needs to be replaced. I'll help you, I'd said. This weekend? We'd spent 3 days at that lake house, tore out the old dock, built a new one. Michael had never been handy. I'd taught him how to use a circular saw, how to measure twice and cut once. We'd worked in the sun, drank beer in the evening, talked about life. About Lucas starting high school, about Michael's new job, the one I'd gotten him, about how grateful he was. I wouldn't be here without you, he'd said on the last night sitting on that new dock we'd built together. Seriously, Dan, you saved my life, multiple times. I'd put my hand on his shoulder, felt like we were kids again, me taking care of him, making sure he was okay. That's what family does, I'd said, and now looking at photos of my wife sitting on that dock, her feet in water. While Michael took the picture, probably smiling behind the camera, I understood a truth that sat in my chest like broken glass. I built that deck myself, helped him paint the bedroom. She loved it. Kate sent me a message at 3 a.m, a week later. Are you awake? Yes. I need to show you something. It's bad. We met at a 24-hour diner off Highway 26. Kate looked like she hadn't slept. She probably hadn't. I knew the feeling. She slid into the booth across from me, set her phone face down on the table. I went through Michael's laptop, she said. He keeps it locked, but I know his passwords. He uses the same one for everything, our wedding date. Can you believe that? She laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. Our wedding date while he's been screwing your wife. Kate, I found spreadsheets, she said. Financial records. Michael's been tracking expenses. I think he was trying to keep it all organized in case, I don't know, in case he needed to explain it someday. Or maybe he's just that stupid. She opened her phone, pulled up screenshots, numbers in neat columns, dates, locations, amounts. This is every time they met, Kate said. Going back 22 months. Daniel, it didn't start in Miami. Miami was their anniversary. The diner was mostly empty. A waitress refilled coffee mugs at the counter. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. 22 months, I said, almost 2 years. Kate's hands were shaking. And look at this column. Expenses, hotel rooms, dinners, that bracelet. There's one entry here for flowers, $350. Do you know when that was? I looked at the date. October, last year, our anniversary. Jennifer and I had gone to dinner. She'd been late, said she'd gotten held up at work. When she finally arrived, she seemed distracted. We'd had a nice dinner anyway, came home, made love. She'd told me she loved me. That was the night we celebrated our 17th anniversary, I said. Kate nodded. The flowers were for her, from him, delivered to her office that morning. White roses, her favorite. White roses were Jennifer's favorite. I sent them to her every anniversary, 17 years in a row. Michael sent them to her too. There's more, Kate said. She scrolled through more screenshots. Michael took out a loan 6 months ago, $25,000. I thought it was for home repairs. That's what he told me. But it's not in our joint account. He opened a separate account. Look at the withdrawals. Cash. Every week. Sometimes 500, sometimes 1,000. All withdrawn over the last 6 months while Jennifer was pregnant with Michael's baby. What was he spending it on? I asked. I don't know. But I found hotel receipts that match some of these dates. And... She paused. Daniel, one of these withdrawals is from last month. $5,000. That's when Jennifer bought her new car, the Lexus. Jennifer had traded in her old Honda 6 weeks ago, bought a Lexus SUV, said she needed something bigger, safer for the baby. It had been a down payment issue. We hadn't planned for a new car, but she'd said she'd saved up for it, been squirreling away money from her real estate commissions. He helped her buy it, I said, with a loan he took out behind my back. Kate's voice was flat, exhausted. Michael gave your wife $5,000 for a car while I'm working double shifts at the hospital to pay for our kids' braces. I thought about Michael, about every dollar I'd given him over the years, the college tuition, the house down payment, the job, the lake house. How much do you think I've given him? I asked. Over the years, financially. Kate looked at me. I don't know. A lot? I paid for his college, $47,000. Told him it was a gift. I pulled out my own phone, opened the banking app I'd been using to track everything. I gave him $85,000 for his house. Told him to pay me back when he could. That was 8 years ago. He's paid me back exactly $0. Daniel, I got him his job. He makes $90,000 a year now. I vouched for him, put my reputation on the line. He's been there 5 years. I kept scrolling through records. I've loaned him money for car repairs, emergency expenses, Christmas 1 year when he said he couldn't afford gifts for the kids, small amounts, $500 here, $2,000 there. I never tracked it because he's my brother, because we don't abandon family. Kate was quiet. I gave him everything, I said, and he used my money, literally my money I loaned him to take my wife to hotels, to buy her flowers, to help her buy a car for his baby. The coffee was cold in my cup. I drank it anyway. Michael said he'd pay me back when he got on his feet. That was 8 years ago. The flashbacks started around then. Memories I hadn't thought about in years, suddenly sharp as photographs. Michael at 6 years old, learning to ride a bike. I was 12, running beside him in the street in front of our parents' house. "Don't let go," he'd screamed. "I won't," I'd promised. But eventually I did, and he'd ridden half a block before realizing, then turned around with the biggest smile I'd ever seen. Michael at 13, getting bullied at school. I was 19, home from college for Thanksgiving. He'd come to me crying, said kids were calling him names, pushing him in the hallway. I'd driven to his school the next day, found the kids, told them if they touched my brother again, they'd answer to me. The bullying stopped. Michael at 22, graduating college. I was in the front row with our parents. He'd walked across that stage in his cap and gown, and when they called his name, Michael James Carter, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, I cheered louder than anyone because I'd paid for that degree, because I'd helped him study, because watching him succeed felt like my own victory. Michael, at his first wedding, standing at the altar waiting for his bride, he'd been so nervous I was his best man. Right before the ceremony, he'd grabbed my arm in the church hallway. "What if I mess this up?" he'd said. "You won't." "How do you know?" "Because you're a Carter," I told him. "We don't quit, we don't give up, and we take care of the people we love." At the reception, Michael had given a speech, talked about growing up with me, how I'd been more than a brother. I'd been a mentor, a father figure after Dad's heart attack when Michael was 10. How every good thing in his life could be traced back to something I'd done, some way I'd helped. "I wouldn't be here without Daniel," he'd said, raising his glass. Everyone had turned to look at me. "My brother gave me everything, and I promise..." His voice had cracked. "I promise I'll make you proud. I'll be the man you believed I could be." I'd stood up, hugged him, told him I was already proud. And now, sitting in my home office at 3 a.m. with Kate's screenshots and Ray's photos and the evidence mountain I'd been building for months, I pulled out my old photo albums. Physical photos. The kind we don't take anymore. Prints from disposable cameras and early digital devices. Shoved in albums our mother had given us. There was one from when Michael was 6. The two of us at the lake, a different lake, before I owned property. We were fishing. Michael was holding up a tiny bass, grinning at the camera. I had my arm around him. On the back, in my teenage handwriting, "Mikey's first fish. I'll always protect you. D." I held that photo for a long time. There was another from Michael's college graduation. The two of us in front of the university sign. Michael in his cap and gown, me in a suit. He had his arm around my shoulders. On the back, in his handwriting, "Thanks for everything, big brother. I'll pay you back someday. Promise." The wedding photos. Michael's first marriage. Him and his bride, not Kate, the one before. I was in every family shot, standing next to him, smiling. In one photo, I was adjusting his tie. He was looking at me like I was solving all the world's problems. And then photos from 8 years ago, the lake house, the day I'd given it to him. We were standing on the porch, holding the deed between us. Michael was crying in the photo. I was smiling. On the back, "New beginnings, you deserve this." D. I thought about that Michael, the one who cried when I gave him a house, who promised to pay me back someday, who said I was his hero. And I thought about the Michael who'd been sleeping with my wife for 2 years, who'd gotten her pregnant, who'd used my lake house, my gift to him, as the place to betray me. We don't abandon family, even when we should. Meanwhile, Jennifer got bigger, 7 months pregnant, 8. She glowed. Everyone said so. My mother called every week, so excited about the new baby. My father, who'd had 2 heart attacks and wasn't supposed to get overly emotional, teared up every time he talked about becoming a grandfather again. "It's a miracle," he kept saying, "at your age to have another baby. Daniel, you and Jennifer are so blessed." Jennifer's parents flew in from Phoenix when she hit 8 months, stayed for 2 weeks. Her mother helped set up the nursery, bought tiny clothes, a crib, a rocking chair. Everyone was so happy. Lucas was thrilled. He'd started his senior year, college applications in full swing. University of Oregon was his top choice. But he made time to help Jennifer, to ask about the baby, to put his hand on her belly and feel the kicks. "Do you think she'll like baseball?" he asked one night at dinner. "She?" Jennifer smiled. "We don't know if it's a girl." "I think it's a girl," Lucas said, "just a feeling." He was right. The ultrasound a week later confirmed it. A girl. Jennifer cried. I held her hand in the doctor's office, watched the screen, and saw my brother's daughter moving inside my wife. "Emma," Jennifer said. I want to name her Emma. Emma's perfect, I said. Lucas was 17, almost a man, but he still looked at his mother like she hung the moon. Still believed that our family was solid. Still trusted that the baby was his sister. One night, about 3 weeks before Jennifer's due date, he found me in my office. I was going through evidence. I heard his knock and quickly closed the laptop. Dad, you okay? Yeah, buddy, just work stuff. What's up? He leaned against the door frame, so tall now. When had that happened? You've been different lately, he said. Distracted or something? Is everything okay? With you and Mom? My chest tightened. Lucas had always been perceptive. Even as a kid, he could sense moods, read a room. It made him a good friend, a good teammate. It also meant he knew when something was wrong. Everything's fine, I said. The lie tasted like ash. Just busy with work and getting ready for the baby. It's a lot. Yeah. He didn't look convinced. Uncle Mike hasn't been around much. Is he mad about something? I'd been avoiding Michael, making excuses. Too busy for family dinners. Can't make it to the kids' soccer games. Work trips that weren't real. Michael had texted me a few times asking if everything was okay. I'd been vague, non-committal, because if I saw him, if I looked my brother in the eye, I didn't trust what I'd do. Uncle Mike's just busy, I said. You know how it is. Lucas nodded, didn't push. Okay, well, I'm here if you need to talk or whatever. Thanks, buddy. He left. I sat there in the dark, listening to Jennifer moving around downstairs, and thought about how Lucas would feel when he found out. How his whole world would shatter. How he'd learn that his mother had lied. His uncle had betrayed us, and nothing about our family was what he thought. He asked if Mom and I were okay. I lied. Emma was born on a Tuesday in March. Jennifer's labor was quick, 6 hours from first contraction to delivery. I was there, held her hand, coached her breathing, cut the umbilical cord when the doctor handed me the scissors. Congratulations, the nurse said. You have a beautiful daughter. 6 pounds, 8 ounces, dark hair, dark eyes. She looked like Jennifer. That's what everyone said, but I saw it. In the curve of her chin, the shape of her nose, she looked like Michael. Jennifer held her, crying, happy, exhausted. She's perfect. Daniel, look at her. She's perfect. She's perfect, I agreed. Lucas came to the hospital after school, held his baby sister with careful hands, smiled down at her like she was made of glass. Hi, Emma. I'm your big brother. My parents came, Jennifer's parents, friends. Everyone took photos. Everyone celebrated. Michael and Kate came the next day. Kate hung back, wouldn't look at me, but Michael held Emma, stood next to Jennifer's hospital bed, holding his daughter, and said, Congrats, brother. She's beautiful. I watched him hold her, watched Jennifer watch him hold her, and neither of them knew that I knew. The affair didn't start in Miami. Miami was their anniversary. I waited 6 months. 6 months of playing the perfect husband, the perfect father, getting up for midnight feedings, changing diapers, taking Lucas to college campus tours, going to work, coming home, smiling for photos. And all the while, Kate and I kept building the case. Text messages, hundreds of them. Michael thought he was deleting them from his phone, but they lived in the cloud. Cloud backups don't care about your guilt. They save everything. I miss you. Can't wait to see you again. Wish I could hold you right now. I love you. I love you. That one appeared 47 times across 18 months. Michael told my wife he loved her 47 times. In writing, with timestamps. There were voice memos too. Michael recording messages for Jennifer when they couldn't talk. Hey, beautiful. Just wanted to hear my voice. God, I wish you were here. I wish. His voice would trail off. Sometimes he'd talk about Emma, about how it felt to see his daughter but not be able to claim her, about how hard it was to pretend. But he never stopped pretending, never stopped showing up to family dinners, never stopped calling me brother and hugging me and acting like everything was fine. Kate found photos on Michael's laptop he'd saved in a hidden folder. Intimate photos. Jennifer in hotel rooms, Jennifer at the lake house, jewelry I'd never seen her wear, lingerie I'd never seen her in. And then 3 months after Emma was born, the piece of evidence that made it all undeniable. Michael sent a text at 2:47 in the morning on a Saturday. He'd been out with friends. Kate told me later he'd come home drunk, passed out on the couch, still holding his phone. The text was meant for Jennifer. It went to our family cloud instead. I woke up Sunday morning, checked my phone, and there it was, sitting in our shared photo stream. The one we used for family pictures, the one where we'd posted Emma's first bath, Lucas's college acceptance letter, vacation photos, Michael's text. Baby looks like me. Can't be there Sunday, but tell Dee I'm sorry I'm sick. God, Jen, what did we do? I love you, but this is killing me. He signed it, always your M. The M I taught to write. I sat on the edge of my bed. Jennifer was still asleep next to me. Emma was in her crib down the hall. Lucas was sleeping in his room, probably dreaming about University of Oregon, about the future. I held my phone, read the text again. Again. What did we do? Michael had written. What did we do? Like it was something that happened to them. Like they were victims of circumstance. Like 18 months of lies and hotel rooms and my lake house and 47 I love yous were just some accident they'd stumbled into. I thought about confronting them right then, waking Jennifer up, driving to Michael's house, burning it all down, but I didn't. Because Lucas's graduation was 3 months away. 3 months, 90 days. Lucas had worked so hard, valedictorian, full scholarship to University of Oregon. The graduation ceremony was going to be huge. Both families coming, friends, everyone celebrating. I wanted them all there. I wanted my parents, Jennifer's parents, Kate, the kids, all of our extended family. Everyone who'd been part of the lie, who'd celebrated the miracle baby, who'd told me how blessed I was. I wanted them all to watch when I dropped the truth like a bomb. No more playing nice, no more benefit of doubt, just reckoning. So I took a screenshot of Michael's text, saved it, added it to the folder I'd been building, the Evidence Mountain DNA results, which I'd ordered 2 months ago using Emma's diaper for a sample. Financial records, hotel receipts, photos, voice memos, Kate's testimony. And then I got up, made coffee, fed Emma her bottle when she woke up crying, made breakfast for Lucas, kissed Jennifer good morning when she came downstairs. Good morning, she said, smiled at me. How'd you sleep? Great, I said. You? Like a rock. She poured herself coffee. What do you want to do today? I don't know. Maybe we could go to the park. It's supposed to be nice. That sounds perfect. We went to the park, pushed Emma in her stroller. Lucas came with us, threw a football around with some friends he ran into. Jennifer held my hand. We looked like the perfect family. And that night, alone in my office after everyone went to bed, I looked at old photos again. Michael at 14, me showing him how to tie a tie before his first school dance. Michael at 26, at his second wedding. Kate in her wedding dress. Michael looking at me from the altar like I'd saved his life, which I had. Multiple times. We don't abandon family, but they abandoned me first. I chose Lucas's graduation, 3 months away. I could wait. Lucas's graduation was on June 5th, a Saturday. Clear skies, 72 degrees, perfect. The ceremony was at 2 in the afternoon at the high school football field, 317 graduating seniors. Lucas was valedictorian. His speech was scheduled right after the principal's opening remarks. I'd read the speech the night before. Lucas had asked me to look it over, make sure it wasn't too cheesy. It was good, really good. He talked about trust, about how the relationships we build in high school teach us what loyalty means, about family being the people who show up when it matters. I told him it was perfect. Both families came. My parents drove and Friday night, stayed at our house. Jennifer's parents flew in from Phoenix. Michael and Kate brought their kids, Ethan and Sophia, 9 and 6, in their Sunday best. extended family, friends, Lucas's girlfriend and her parents, the football coach, teachers, everyone was there. Jennifer wore a yellow sundress, held Emma in her arms, our 6-month-old daughter dressed in a white outfit with tiny flowers. Emma had been fussy that morning, but Jennifer had gotten her to sleep. She looked peaceful, innocent. Michael sat 3 rows behind us. I could feel him back there, could feel his eyes on the back of my head. We hadn't talked much in the last few months. I'd been distant. He'd noticed. Sent me texts asking if everything was okay. If I was mad about something, I'd kept my responses short. Just busy. Work, stress. We're good. We weren't good. The brown envelope sat in my jacket pocket. I'd carried it with me all morning. DNA results. Financial records. Photo timeline. Michael's confession text. Everything printed, organized, tabbed. The weight of it pressed against my chest like a promise. Here's where I need your take. If you had this evidence, would you expose them immediately to stop the lie, or wait to protect your kid from the fallout during his senior year? I chose to wait. 3 months of playing pretend so Lucas could have this day, so he could walk across that stage believing his family was whole. The ceremony started. Principal gave his speech. Class president gave hers. And then Lucas walked to the podium. My son, 17 years old, 6'2", wearing his cap and gown, the tassel on the right side, waiting to be switched to the left when he officially graduated. He looked at the crowd, found me, smiled, and then he started talking about trust. When you're a kid, Lucas said, his voice carrying across the field through the microphone, you trust without thinking. You trust that your parents will catch you when you fall, that your family will be there when you need them, that the people who say they love you actually mean it. My mother was crying already. She always cried at graduations. High school teaches you that trust isn't automatic, Lucas continued. It's earned. It's built through small moments, showing up, keeping promises, being honest even when it's hard. The relationships that matter are the ones where people prove again and again that they deserve your faith in them. Jennifer was watching him smiling. Emma was starting to wake up in her arms. I'm lucky, Lucas said. I have a family that's always shown up. Parents who've supported every game, every test, every moment. A dad who taught me that being a man means keeping your word, that family means everything. The words were knives, each one. So as we leave here today, Lucas said, my advice is this: choose carefully who you trust. Build your life around people who prove they deserve it. And when someone shows you who they really are, believe them. He finished. Everyone applauded. Lucas walked back to his seat with the other students. The tassel on his cap caught the sunlight. I stood up. So did everyone in my row. And so did Michael, 3 rows back. The principal called names alphabetically. Students walked across the stage one by one, received their diplomas, shook hands, posed for photos. When they called Lucas Daniel Carter, I cheered. So did Jennifer. So did my parents. So did Michael. Lucas walked across that stage, shook the principal's hand, took his diploma, turned to face the crowd, and moved his tassel from right to left. Graduate. I was proud. God, I was so proud. And furious. And broken. Because this should have been a perfect day. This should have been simple joy. Uncomplicated happiness. But nothing was simple anymore. The ceremony ended. Caps flew into the air. Families rushed the field. I made my way through the crowd to Lucas, hugged him hard. Congratulations, buddy. Thanks, Dad. He was beaming. Did you like the speech? It was perfect. Jennifer reached us, still holding Emma, kissed Lucas's cheek. I'm so proud of you, sweetie. My parents arrived. More hugs, photos, Jennifer's parents, more photos, everyone smiling, everyone happy. And then Michael appeared at the edge of our group. Congrats, Lucas, he said, shook Lucas's hand. Great speech. Thanks, Uncle Mike. Michael looked at me. Hey, brother, can we talk for a minute? Sure, I said, Actually, I need to talk to you too, and Mom and Dad. I looked at Jennifer. Can you give us a few minutes? Family stuff. Jennifer nodded. Of course, I'll take Emma to get changed. She's getting fussy. I watched her walk away. Yellow dress, dark hair, carrying our daughter who wasn't our daughter. Then I turned to my parents and Michael. Let's go somewhere quiet, I said. We walked to the parking lot, found a spot away from the crowd between two buildings, private. My father looked concerned. Daniel, what's going on? He asked. You've been distant lately. Are you okay? I pulled the envelope from my jacket. I need to show you something, I said. It's going to be hard to hear, but I need you to listen all the way through. My mother's hand went to her chest. Daniel, you're scaring me. Good, I said. You should be scared. I opened the envelope, pulled out the first document, the DNA test results, handed it to my father. This is Emma's paternity test, I said. I ordered it 3 months ago. My father's hands were shaking as he read. His face went pale. Daniel, it says the probability of paternity is 0%, I said. My voice was calm, controlled. I'd practiced this. Emma isn't my daughter. She's my niece. My mother made a sound like she'd been punched. What? The test also shows a probability of sibling relationship with the submitted sample of 99.98%. I looked at Michael. The submitted sample was Michael's DNA from a coffee cup Kate gave me. Michael's face drained of color. Daniel, don't, I said. Don't say a word yet. I'm not done. I pulled out the financial records, the hotel receipts, handed them to my father. Michael and Jennifer have been having an affair for 2 years, 24 months. It started before the Miami trip. That was their anniversary. They've stayed in hotels in 4 different cities. They've been to my lake house, the one I gave Michael, at least 8 times. I have photos, security camera footage, text messages, voice memos. My father was reading the documents. His hands were shaking harder now. Jesus Christ. Michael has spent over $12,000 on this affair, I continued, much of it cash withdrawals from his joint account with Kate. He also took out a $25,000 loan 6 months ago. $5,000 of that went to help Jennifer buy her car. My mother was crying now, silent tears running down her face. I gave Michael $47,000 for college, I said, looking at my brother. I gave him $85,000 for his house down payment. I got him his job. I gave him the lake house, and he used all of it, my money, my gifts, my trust, to betray me. Michael's mouth opened, closed. Dan, please. I said, don't talk. My voice was harder now. You're going to listen, because for 2 years I've had to listen to your lies. Every family dinner, every phone call, every time you called me brother, and acted like everything was fine. I pulled out the photos, the ones from the lake house. Michael and Jennifer on the deck, in the bedroom, handed them to my father. I built that deck, I said, spent 3 days helping Michael replace it, taught him how to use a saw, told him the house was his fresh start. My father looked at the photos, then at Michael. How could you? Dad, Michael's voice broke. It wasn't supposed to happen. We didn't mean... Don't. I pulled out the final piece, the screenshot of Michael's text, the confession. You texted Jennifer at 2:47 a.m. 3 months ago. You were drunk. You sent it to the family cloud by mistake. I read it aloud, every word. Baby looks like me. Can't be there Sunday, but tell Dee, I'm sorry I'm sick. God, Jen, what did we do? I love you, but this is killing me. Always, your M. My mother collapsed against my father. He caught her, his own face twisted in anguish. You signed it, your M, I said to Michael. The M I taught you to write when you were 6 years old, when you couldn't get the letters right, and I sat with you for hours until you could. Michael was crying now, full sobs. Dan, I'm so sorry. I'm so fucking sorry. I never wanted to hurt you. It It happened, and then we couldn't stop, and you took everything, I said. Each word was precise, clear. You took my trust, my money, my property, my wife. You got her pregnant. And then you stood in that hospital room and held your daughter and congratulated me like I was the father. I didn't know what else to do. You could have been honest. My voice rose. The control was slipping. You could have told me the truth. You could have been a man instead of a coward. Boys, my father tried. No, Dad. I looked at him. You need to hear this, all of it, because I've been carrying it alone for months and I'm done. Michael destroyed my marriage. He destroyed my family. And he did it while I was still paying off his college loans, while his kids were calling me Uncle Dan, while he was sitting at my table eating food I paid for. Michael grabbed his chest. His face was red. I'll pay you back, every dollar. I swear, It's not about the money. The words came out raw. It's about what you did. It's about trust. It's about brotherhood. I would have died for you, Mike. I would have given you anything, and you knew that. You knew I loved you. And you used it against me. I love you too, Michael said. Dan, you're my brother. I love you. Don't you dare. My voice went quiet again. Dangerous. Don't you dare say you love me. You don't betray people you love. You don't lie to them for 2 years. You don't fuck their wives in houses they gave you as gifts. My father grabbed his chest. His face went gray. He stumbled. Dad! I caught him. Dad, are you okay? My heart, he gasped. I need to sit. I helped him to a bench. My mother was screaming. People were starting to notice, starting to come over. Jennifer appeared, running, still holding Emma. What's happening? Daniel, what did you do? I looked at her, really looked at her for the first time in months without the mask of pretending. What did I do? I said. What did I do? I pulled out another copy of the DNA results, handed them to her. Emma isn't my daughter, Jen. She's my niece, Michael's daughter. And you know what's funny? I had a vasectomy 3 years ago. Did you know that? We talked about me getting one, and I just did it. Never told you. So when you came home from Miami pregnant, claiming it was a miracle, I knew immediately. I've known since the day you told me. Jennifer's face went white. She looked at the paper, at Michael, back at me. Daniel, I know everything. I said, every hotel, every lie, every I love you sent him while you were sleeping in my bed, the lake house, the gifts, the money, 24 months, Jennifer. 2 years, you looked me in the eye and lied. Let me explain. Explain what? I was yelling now. People were definitely watching. I didn't care. Explain how you accidentally fell onto my brother's dick multiple times in multiple cities for 2 fucking years? My mother screamed. Someone called for a doctor. My father was pale but breathing, being attended to by someone from the crowd. Michael just turned and ran toward the parking lot. Kate appeared from somewhere in the crowd. She'd been watching, waiting. She looked at Jennifer holding Emma. Give her to me, Kate said. What? The baby. Give her to me. She's not yours to hold right now. Kate, please. I'm taking my kids and leaving, Kate said. Her voice was steel. I'm filing for divorce on Monday, and you... She looked at Michael's retreating back. You'll never see Ethan or Sophia unsupervised again. I'll make sure of it. Jennifer tried to hold on to Emma, but Kate took her, firm, final. You don't get to play happy family anymore, Kate said. Not with her, not with my kids, not with any of us. She walked away. Jennifer turned to me, tears streaming down her face. Daniel, please, we can work through this. For Lucas, for Emma, please. Lucas appeared then. He'd been looking for us. He stopped when he saw the scene, saw my father on the bench, my mother crying, Jennifer crying, me holding the envelope of evidence. Dad. His voice was small. What's going on? Jennifer reached for him. Lucas, baby. Don't, Lucas said. He stepped back. Don't call me that. Don't talk to me. Lucas, please. I can explain. Did you cheat on Dad? he asked, direct, simple, the way I'd taught him to ask hard questions. Just yes or no. Did you cheat on Dad? Jennifer opened her mouth. Nothing came out. Is Emma his daughter? Lucas asked. Lucas, yes or no, Mom? No, Jennifer whispered. She's not. Lucas looked at her for a long moment. Then he walked to me, took my hand, the way he used to when he was little and scared. Let's go, Dad, he said. The fallout was immediate. My father recovered from his heart scare. It was anxiety, not an actual heart attack, but the paramedics took him to the hospital anyway. My mother went with him. Before she left, she looked at me. I'm so sorry, she said. I'm so sorry this happened to you. Then she looked at the direction Michael had run. Get out, she said to the empty air, as if Michael could still hear. Get out of this family. Jennifer's parents found us in the parking lot an hour later. Lucas and I were sitting in my car, not going anywhere. Just sitting. Her father knocked on my window. I rolled it down. Daniel, he said. His face was full of pain. We just heard. From Jennifer, is it true? Yes. All of it? The affair, the baby, everything? Yes. Jennifer's mother was crying behind him. We're so sorry. We had no idea. We never would have. God, we're so sorry. It's not your fault, I said. We raised her better than this, her father said. I don't know what to say. What she did is unforgivable. They left. Lucas and I sat in the car. Did you know, he asked finally, the whole time? Since she announced the pregnancy. That's why you've been different. Yeah. Why didn't you tell me? I looked at my son, my beautiful, brilliant son who'd just given a speech about trust and family. Because you deserved to have today, your graduation, your moment. I didn't want to ruin it. It's ruined anyway. I know, I'm sorry. Lucas was quiet for a long time. Then, I'm glad you told me. I'm glad I know the truth. I hate that it's true, but I'm glad you didn't lie to me, too. I'll never lie to you. I know, Dad. He squeezed my hand. I know. Monday morning, I had my lawyer serve Jennifer with divorce papers. I'd had them drawn up months ago. Custody of Lucas to me, he was 17, almost 18. The court would listen to his preference. Custody of Emma to be determined, with supervised visitation only for Jennifer until paternity and parental rights could be sorted out legally. Jennifer's real estate partnership dissolved by Wednesday. Her business partner, a family friend who'd been at the graduation, called her personally, said the firm couldn't have this associated with our name, said it was nothing personal, just business. It was personal. Everyone knew. In a community like ours, gossip spreads like wildfire. The Carter family explosion at graduation was the talk of the town. Michael lost his job by Thursday. My company didn't directly employ him, but we had connections to his firm. One phone call, that's all it took. We're restructuring. Your position has been eliminated. He called me Friday night. I didn't answer. He left a voicemail. Dan, please, I lost my job. Kate took the kids. Mom and Dad won't talk to me. I have nothing. Please, I know I fucked up, but I'm your brother. We don't abandon family. You said that. You always said that. I listened to the voicemail once, then deleted it. We don't abandon family, but you abandoned me first. The legal reckoning took weeks. My lawyer was efficient. We demanded repayment of all loans, the $85,000 for the house plus interest. Documentation was thorough. Michael had signed promissory notes. He had 30 days to begin repayment, or I'd file charges for fraud related to business loans he'd also failed to repay. The lake house I wanted back. It was technically his property, but my lawyer found a clause in the original deed transfer about gifts given in good faith can be revoked if the recipient acts in bad faith. Legal jargon. It meant I could take it back. Michael had 30 days to vacate. Kate's divorce moved faster. She had evidence, she had witnesses, she had 2 kids and a husband who'd lied about everything. Her lawyer was brutal. Kate got the house, full custody, child support that would cripple Michael financially. "I'm taking everything," she told me on the phone one night. "Every dollar, every asset, every ounce of security he thought he had. He took our family and destroyed it. Now he gets to understand what that feels like." "Good," I said. By the end of summer, Michael had lost his job, his wife custody of his children, supervised visits only twice a month. His house, Kate got it in the divorce. The lake house, returned to me, deed transferred back. His relationship with our parents, they told him not to contact them until he got his life together. Every extended family relationship, no one would talk to him. His reputation in the community, any financial stability he'd had, and he had to repay me $85,000 plus interest. First payment due in 30 days, no forgiveness, no reconciliation, just consequences. Jennifer fought the custody battle for Emma. My lawyer argued that since Emma wasn't my biological child, I had no parental rights. Michael technically did, but he was in no position to claim them. The court appointed a guardian ad litem to represent Emma's interests. It was messy. It was painful. It took months. In the end, Jennifer got primary custody of Emma. But the community knew. Her parents knew. Everyone knew the baby wasn't mine, that she'd lied, that she'd destroyed her family. She moved to an apartment across town, took Emma with her. I saw them occasionally at drop-offs when Lucas wanted to see his half-sister, because despite everything, Lucas loved Emma. She was innocent in all this. "She didn't ask for this," Lucas said. "None of this is her fault." He was right. I kept Emma's baby blanket, the pink one with gray elephants, the one I'd picked out before I knew. I put it in a box with a note. "For Emma, when she's old enough to understand. None of this was your fault. I'm sorry I couldn't be your dad, but I hope someday you'll know I would have loved you if you'd been mine. Daniel." Someday, when Emma was old enough, Lucas would give it to her. He promised me that. 6 months after graduation, Lucas left for University of Oregon. I helped him pack. We loaded his car, the one he'd saved up for by working summers, the one he was so proud of. Drove him to campus, helped him move into his dorm, met his roommate, made sure he had everything he needed. Before I left, we stood in the parking lot. Fall term was starting. The campus was beautiful. Trees everywhere. Students milling around, excited for new beginnings. "You gonna be okay?" Lucas asked. "Yeah," I said. "You?" "Yeah." He paused. "Dad, I'm sorry this happened to you, to us." "Me too, buddy." "But you know what?" He looked at me. "I'm glad I have you. I'm glad you're my dad. I'm glad you told me the truth. Some of my friends, their parents lied to them all the time. About big stuff. You didn't do that. You protected me as long as you could, and then you told me the truth. That means something." My throat was tight. "Thanks, Lucas." "We're gonna be okay," he said. "You and me, we're gonna be fine." "Yeah," I said, "we are." He hugged me, long and hard, then let go, grabbed his backpack, and headed toward his dorm. I watched him go. My son. Almost a man now. Strong and honest and good, despite everything that had happened. I'd done something right. 1 week later, I drove to the lake house. I hadn't been there since I'd gotten it back from Michael. The deed was in my name again. The property was legally mine, but I couldn't keep it. Too many memories. Too much betrayal soaked into the wood. I'd listed it for sale. Had a buyer lined up. Was meeting the real estate agent there to finalize paperwork. I pulled up the gravel driveway. The cabin looked the same. Same dock, same porch, same bedroom window. I sat in my car for a while. Remembered building that dock with Michael. Teaching him to measure, to cut, to hammer. Remembered painting the bedroom. Remembered handing him the deed and watching him cry. Remembered photos of Jennifer on that dock, in that bedroom, on that porch. The real estate agent arrived. Nice woman, professional. We walked through the property, signed papers. She handed me a check for the deposit. "It's a beautiful place," she said. "The buyers are excited. Good, I said. They should be. It's a good house. She left. I stayed for a few more minutes. There was a photo on the mantle. I'd forgotten it was there. Old picture. Michael and me as kids, maybe 10 and 4 years old, at a lake, a different lake, fishing, smiling. On the back, in my teenage handwriting, Mikey's first fish. I'll always protect you. D. I'd kept that promise for 38 years. Protected him, supported him, loved him, and he'd broken every promise he'd ever made to me. I left the photo on the mantle. Let it stay with the house. Let someone else find it someday and wonder about the two boys who looked so happy. Lucas called while I was driving home. Hey, Dad, how's the lake house? Sold it. Just finished the paperwork. How do you feel? I thought about it. Lighter. Good. Pause. Hey, random question. Do you think you'll ever talk to Uncle Mike again? I'd been asking myself that for months. I don't know, I said honestly. Maybe someday, when I'm ready, or maybe never. I don't know if that makes me a bad person. It doesn't, Lucas said. It makes you human. He hurt you, bad. You don't owe him forgiveness. He's still my brother. Biologically, yeah. But family is more than blood, Dad. You taught me that. Family is who shows up, who keeps their promises, who proves they deserve your trust. My own son, throwing my words back at me, but better, wiser. You're right, I said. I usually am. I could hear the smile in his voice. Hey, some friends and I are going to get pizza tonight. You want me to bring you back a slice? Oh, wait, you're 4 hours away. Never mind. I laughed. First real laugh in months. You're hilarious. Love you, Dad. Love you too, buddy. He hung up. I drove home, to the house that was emptier now. Just me, no wife, no baby, no extended family dinners with my brother. But I had Lucas. I had my parents, who'd made it clear they chose me, not Michael. I had Kate, who'd become an unexpected ally and friend. I had my integrity, my truth. I had myself back. A few weeks later, I was cleaning out my home office, moving things around, trying to make the space feel new, different, not haunted by the months I'd spent gathering evidence in the dark. I found the old photo albums, the ones I'd looked through during those awful months. Childhood photos of Michael and me. I went through them slowly, remembered the good times, because there had been good times. For 38 years, Michael had been my little brother. I'd loved him. Those memories were real, even if they were now complicated by betrayal. I couldn't throw the albums away, but I couldn't keep them in my office either. I packed them in a box, took them to the attic. Maybe someday I'd look at them again, maybe not, but they were part of my history, part of Lucas's history. They deserved to exist, even if they hurt. As I was sealing the box, I found one more photo, recent, from Emma's baby shower 6 months before she was born. Jennifer, glowing and pregnant, me with my arm around her, Lucas on her other side, my parents, Jennifer's parents, Michael and Kate with their kids, everyone smiling, everyone happy, everyone believing in the lie. I almost threw it away, but then I saw Lucas's face in the photo, genuinely happy, excited about his baby sister. 17 years old and still believing the best in people. That kid in the photo deserved better than what happened next. But he survived it. He's thriving now. I put the photo in the box with the albums, sealed it, carried it to the attic. As I was coming back down, my phone buzzed. Text from Lucas. Just had the best pizza. Wish you could have been here. Miss you. Coming home for Thanksgiving. Wouldn't miss it. I typed back. Good. Just us? Just us. That's my favorite kind of family, he wrote. I smiled, put my phone away, started making dinner, just for me tonight. Put on music, opened a beer, cooked a steak the way I liked it. Jennifer had always said it was too rare, but I didn't have to compromise anymore. The house was quiet, but it wasn't empty. I thought about everything that had happened, the betrayal, the lies, the explosion, the aftermath. I thought about Michael, wondered where he was, if he was okay, if he ever thought about me, if he regretted it, Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. It didn't matter anymore. People ask if I'm okay. I tell them I'm better than that. I'm free. I finished cooking, ate dinner at the kitchen table, made plans for Thanksgiving, just Lucas and me. Maybe we'd go to that new restaurant downtown he'd been wanting to try. Or maybe I'd cook turkey for two. Why not? After dinner, I walked outside, stood in the backyard. The fall air was cool. Stars were coming out. Thought about the motif I'd lived by for so long. We don't abandon family. And realized it was still true, just different now. We don't abandon family. We abandon the lie of what family was supposed to be. We hold on to the people who deserve our loyalty, who prove through their actions that they value the bond. Lucas, my parents, Kate, the people who chose truth over comfort, who chose me when the choice mattered. That's family. My phone buzzed again. Lucas. Random thought. We should get pizza, just us. I typed back, just us. That's my favorite kind of family. He sent back a pizza emoji. I smiled, went back inside, started planning. Tomorrow I'd wake up, go to work, live my life, move forward. Without Jennifer, without Michael, without the weight of their lives. Just me and Lucas and the family we chose to keep. That was enough. More than enough. That was everything.